Hi guys, I'm live on my walk. How you guys doing? So I want to do just a slight little music lesson while I'm on my walk right now. Let's do it. So in the 90s, I read a book from the library called Materials of Modern Music by Howard Hanson, Hanson, right? Or that, or Hanscn, but I think it was Hanson, Howard Hanson, yes. And he talked about a concept he called it a complement, but I'm going to call it a chromatic complement to a certain scale. Let me explain what that means. The chromatic complement to a scale is all that are in the chromatic scale that aren't in the scale. So that the chromatic complement of a scale, the scale together add up to the chromatic scale with no doubling ups or missing notes. So for instance, what's the chromatic complement of a C major scale? Well, that would be an E flat minor pentatonic scale, also known as a G flat major pentatonic scale, also known as a D sharp minor pentatonic scale, also known as an F sharp major pentatonic scale. So that the 5 black notes basically are the complement of the C major scale, which is all the white notes, because together they make up all the notes. And there's no notes doubled and there's no notes missing. So we see so far that since the chromatic complement of a C major scale is an E flat minor 7th E flat minor pentatonic scale, you can see that one way to do it is that two minor pentatonic scales a whole step apart make a diatonic, full 7-note diatonic scale. Let me give you an example of that. An F sharp minor pentatonic scale added to a G sharp minor pentatonic scale make an E major scale. It just does. Check it out. I could say a B minor pentatonic scale and a C sharp minor pentatonic scale make an A major scale. Check that out. Just anytime you have 2 minor pentatonic scales a whole step apart, you imply a major scale, or natural minor scale, or Dorian mode, or whatever major scale you want to add, or say, or think of it as. So this little fact is good and it's useful in understanding a certain tapping licks I do by Steve Vai that I include in my playing. Is that he uses a lot of that minor pentatonic scale a whole step apart in some of his tapping licks. And interestingly, on a guitar, you can get a minor pentatonic scale just by fretting all the strings on one given fret. So if I'm in A Dorian, I can say that has an A minor pentatonic scale in it, and that's all the strings at the 5th fret played barred across, and it also has a B minor pentatonic scale, which is all the strings fitted across the 7th the 7th fret. That leaves a cool thing where you can play a whole step pattern on all 6 strings, starting on the E to the high E to the low E, or vice versa, starting with the fret of the bottom of each whole tone being the 5th fret, because you're in the key of A Dorian, and A is on the 5th fret of the E strings, and then he goes up an octave above that and tap all the notes on the 7th fret, which make an A minor pentatonic scale up there, and then he just plays all 3 notes per string, tapping licks on all strings, sometimes skipping. That's one of my favorite licks, and Steve, I invented it, but I do it a lot too, and I love that lick. But having said all that, what does that have to do with what I'm talking about? Well, the minor pentatonic scale in between 2 minor pentatonic scales a whole step apart is all the other notes that are not in said major scale. Example, in C major scale, I have a D minor pentatonic, D as in dog, and an E minor pentatonic, E as in elephant. So I have 2 minor pentatonic scales a whole step apart, which make a major scale, actually a whole step below the lowest of the roots of the lowest minor pentatonic scale. So what does that mean? What does that have? Why do I care? Because the chromatic complement to C major scale is an E flat minor pentatonic, also known as a D sharp minor pentatonic, which is the minor pentatonic that's in between. Cool. So that means let's hear the 10th fret of a guitar, barred all the way across makes a D, as in, like I said, D minor pentatonic, and then 12th fret makes an E minor pentatonic. If you bar all 6 strings at the 11th fret, you get a D sharp minor pentatonic, or otherwise known as E flat minor pentatonic, which is the chromatic complement of the C major scale, because it's all the notes that aren't in the C major scale, i.e. all the black notes. The 11th fret of a guitar all the way across is all the black notes on a keyboard. The 10th fret all the way across is a D minor pentatonic scale. The 12th fret all the way across is an E minor pentatonic scale, and the D minor pentatonic scale and the E minor pentatonic scale make a C major scale, and then of course the E flat minor pentatonic or D sharp minor pentatonic scale makes the chromatic complement of the said C major scale. Now that's just background for what I was actually going to talk about. This is kind of a long lesson. I have a thought. It might be, but that's not all I wanted to say. If the chromatic complement of the major scale is a minor pentatonic scale at the right key, what's the harmonic? What's the scale and the melodic minor scale? Oh, I got to do that too, right? It's the other three. Rock on, guys. So the first thing I'm going to tackle is what is the chromatic complement to a melodic minor scale. Well, it has to be 5 notes because there's 7 notes in a melodic minor scale. The other 5 make a chromatic scale. And so I'm just going to let you do the math and do the work on this. I'm just going to tell you what the answer is, and then it just is. You have to play it. Let's see if I can figure out where you would. I think you would play it. Let me mess this up here. I think you would play it. Let me think. Major. Oh yeah. I'm getting this straight here. I did not rehearse this. Let's say I'm an A minor pentatonic. Let's say I'm an A melodic minor scale. That would give me. Let me think. A melodic minor scale. I have to think of. Okay, here's how I'm going to play this. If I have an if I'm an A melodic minor scale, then I have a D. No. Wait, let me think again. Yes, I do. I have a D dominant ninth chord, or D dominant ninth arpeggio implied. And I have an E, D as in dog, and I also have an E dominant ninth chord implied by an A melodic minor scale. So since, and those two, the D dominant ninth chord, or arpeggio, plus the E dominant ninth arpeggio make an A melodic minor scale. Therefore, it just so happens that the notes that are the complement of the A melodic minor scale are an E flat dominant ninth arpeggio or a D sharp D sharp dominant ninth arpeggio. So the chromatic complement of an A minor pentatonic scale is a dominant ninth arpeggio a tritone away from the root of the melodic minor scale you're talking about. So the chromatic complement of an E melodic minor scale would be a B flat dominant ninth chord, or otherwise known as A sharp dominant ninth chord. I get it. Let me make sure that's correct. Is that work correct? Sure is. Okay. Now the last 2 examples, that wasn't easy. That wasn't even easy. Now, what is the chromatic complement of a harmonic minor scale? It turns out that's 5 notes also. It turns out that those 5 notes make a 100 chord. Depending on what you it makes a not. I mean, it's a dump to have to do the work and see what that's. It really is true. It's so major 6, add sharp 9 are mixed. So anyway, I love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll. So anyway, I love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.